Hi, okay, so I did my presentation on kindness in the early childhood classroom. My name is Moorea Nowark, and this is my mini presentation for EDEC 430. So what does it mean to be kind? When I think of this, it's like, being friendly and being able to have nice conversations with people and do nice things and actions for them, and just showing people that you kind of care about them, um, or anyone. You don't even have to know them. It could just be someone, that you walk by, even just like a smile, or helping someone at the grocery store that you don't know. Just anything like that shows your acts of kindness. And a main part of that is because you've learned that from growing up. So that's why it's so important in the early childhood classrooms to be showing and teaching kindness. When you think of what kindness means to you, what words or actions come to your mind? I just kind of shared some, but I would like you, as the listener of this presentation, to just kind of think of those in your mind throughout this whole presentation. And another one would be, in what ways can you show kindness? Um, on a daily basis, how do you portray how to other people that you're kind, and what actions do you do that you could think of? The definition of kind is caring for others around you and helping them when they might need help. This can also be by saying or doing something positive for people or someone you know. My interest in this topic really come from the need for teachers and early childhood educators to be really educated on how they can demonstrate it more effectively in their classrooms. I don't think that's something that we learn a lot about going into teaching professions. Like, how do we need to portray ourselves and like show our students, our actions and mannerisms, because they are really like watching us and what we do. And so showing them that we can be kind in the classroom, then they're gonna like feed off of that energy. And so that's one of my main interests in this topic. Also, that teachers should be educated on how to teach kindness and demonstrate it in the right ways towards their students, kind of like what I just said. And then I'm interested in how it can affect the students in their lives like positively after learning kindness. So like when kids are in preschool or even like their daycare, when teachers are kind to them, then they're learning, oh, my teacher helped me do this, or oh, my teacher was doing this and a student then kind of learned and helped me do this. And so by sharing and doing those kind of things. And so I think by students watching their teachers and helpers in the classroom be kind, then that kind of sheds like a positive light on kindness for them. And so then they can kind of show that as well to the students in their classroom and friends and family. And then observing the acts of kindness that kids use in the classroom and how it affects um, the classroom like dynamics. So, when kids show kindness, then other kids can kind of see that those kids are showing kindness, and then they want to be kind to the other kids in the classroom, and same with the teacher and the whole student aspect as well. So what we know, kindness changes the brain by the experience of kindness. Children and adolescents do not learn kindness by only thinking about it and talking about it. Kindness is best learned by feeling it so that they can reproduce it. So this quote was from a lady named Patty O'Grady, and she's an expert in neuroscience and like pediatric and early childhood learning. And so I really like this quote. It came from one of my articles that I read about kindness, and it was really just a great understanding of like what I've been kind of talking about, is that kids don't learn by just reading books or hearing about it or hearing the word kind, like, oh, you need to be kind, like that's not nice. It's really like they need to learn by feeling the action of someone being kind to them. So I think that's so important for teachers to understand that like we need to show kindness and patience and that kind of thing. So then the students can really take off of that and then they can reproduce it with their students and family and friends and other people in their lives. Um, Another thing we know is that a large number of benefits has been reported that teaching kindness in the classroom is very beneficial, and this could help with so many benefits. Here I've posted some. It's like the happy, caring child, greater sense of belonging, improved self-esteem, increased peer acceptance, less bullying, and reduced depression. Now, some of these benefits are, when you have a child who's around 3 or 5, you're going to get that happy, caring child, or, maybe their self-esteem will kind of go up when they're, really scared and nervous to go to kindergarten, but then their teacher's so kind on the first day, and then they really feel, their self-esteem is higher and they feel, safe and happy and, glad to be at school. But then some of these benefits go on to like high school, and when kids get a little bit older in elementary school and all that kind of stuff, is like less bullying. When kids are kind in school, there's going to be less bullying. There's going to be reduced depression. As you go on with your life, when there's kids who are showing kindness when you are in high school and middle school, there's going to be less depression rates, and greater sense of belonging. I think that's a huge one as well. Kids will just, know that they belong in that group of friends because they're kind to them. So those are some of the things we know about kindness. And some more things are kindness is a large part of social and emotional development in children. Young children learn from watching others, and when others are showing kindness to them, for example, their teachers, family, and friends, then they're learning how to treat others with kindness. And that's kind of what I took from the article I read and that quote I just said on the last slide. And that's just really when kids see kindness, like then they're going to be able to continue that and show kindness to other people and, kind of like continue the kindness train. Encouraging kindness in the early grades helps children develop behaviors that have valued far beyond their school years. And prioritizing kindness helps children see the impact of the words that they use and actions they take on the dynamics of the classroom. So, when kids see kind words in the classroom and hear kind words from their teachers and friends and parents, then those, when they hear those kind words, then their actions are going to be kind. And that's a huge part of the dynamic of the classroom. If you have a group of kids in your class that are going to be rowdy and not kind and be bullies and rude, then that dynamic of the classroom isn't going to be a happy, fun environment for the rest of the kids or even all of the kids. And especially the teacher, because then you're not having to deal with, fun, kind, nice kids. You're going to have to be dealing with a lot of discipline. So the dynamics of the classroom really are based on how the kids are behaving. And when kids are all acting kind, then the dynamic of the classroom is just going to be so much happier and better for all the students in their learning environment. So a quick activity that I have for you to kind of take away and to kind of think about is teaching kindness at a young age is so important. And one fun activity that you can demonstrate kindness at a young age is have a compliment chain game. So for today, we're not really in person, so it's kind of a little bit different for this game, but we're going to do a kind compliment to someone and show that you care and check in on them. So if you could text or call someone that means something to you and give them a kind compliment. And if you feel comfortable, you can share your comment you made to that person in the reflection of my presentation. And that just, I think that's so important just for mental health as well, especially in the college, is just showing your friends, and even it could be someone in your class, just that you're kind and you care about them. And then, that they're going to go on and realize like, oh, maybe I should check in or be kind to someone and see how they're doing. So I think that this is a really cool thing to kind of start a little kindness train or a chain. It's the compliment chain game that you could do in a classroom as well. So practical implications. So teaching kindness to young kids can have a great long-term effects. Like I've talked about, it can kind of go on through ages and ages and grades, and stick with you for the rest of your life. And developmentally kindness activities could be in large groups, or you could have reflective activities that involve kindness. You could do literature, so books, poems, songs, or you could even do the compliment chain game as a lesson plan, like I just talked about in the previous slide. Practical implications example, you could do the compliment chain game like I just talked about. And a real way to do this in a classroom, you would have one student in your classroom be the student of the week each week. And on one of the days then that they are the student of the week, you could have all the students take out a rectangle piece of paper and you can have them each write a compliment about that single student on that paper. And then you can staple all the papers together to be a big paper chain garland. And you could either share that with your class, so each student could read their own compliment that they wrote, and then you can staple them all together. Or you could just give it to that student to be able to take home and read the compliments with their parents or on their own time. I think you could do this starting at around a kindergarten age. I think this would be a great activity to kind of start practicing handwriting and kind words. I mean, it could just be one word. It doesn't have to be a full sentence, but this game could also continue on throughout all the grades. And you could even do this like in college, really, in one of your classes, learning about kindness, like just compliments. You could do it to, for your teacher, but down in those elementary grade levels, picking a student of the week and then kind of spotlighting them that week and getting all the students to write a fun compliment that they realized about that student throughout the year. That would be a great way to implicate kindness in the classroom. So here are some resources to be able to teach kindness in the classroom. There's so many great books out there. Raising Good Humans is a great one for teachers or older kids to read, and especially parents. And so it just teaches, how to raise a great child, and it talks about how to raise a kind child and a confident kid. But there's a big section on how to teach kindness to your children and how to show it to them so then they respect you in those aspects. And great other books for children to read or for teachers to read in the classroom. There's so many great authors and so many great books about kindness for young adults and children. I found this really fun kindness game on Amazon actually, and it was only about $12, I think. And it's a book and it comes with all these cards and you take them out and it has a prompt that's very simple, but just ideas on how to write about kindness acts and about kindness and how to show kindness. And so this would be a really fun game, I think, for maybe older grades in elementary school. But this would be a really fun activity to pull out a prompt, and you could either have a class discussion about it, or you could even give each kid a different prompt and have them write about it, or just, one in the classroom and have all the kids write about the same one. But I think that's a great kind of fun game to kind of implement kindness in the classroom. So for conclusion, kindness is caring for others around you and helping them when they might need help. Kindness can also leave an everlasting impression on someone, and learning kindness at a young age is a huge part of social and emotional development, and this will stick with them for the rest of their lives. Kindness can be taught and demonstrated in many ways throughout a child's education. And those are my references. Thank you.